folks, I'm Chris and I'm your Commander Mechanic, here with another tune-up. But before we get started, I wanted to remind everybody of our big August giveaway. Remember, we are giving away a Yuriko the Tiger Shadow deck. That's right, a full 100-card, pre-built, Commander Mechanic certified Yuriko the Tiger Shadow deck. Not only that, but throughout the month, as we hit subscriber tiers, that deck is going to get better. You can check out the video up here and enter to win. We also have secondary prizes of Infinitokens and Double Masters boosters, so get in while you can. This week's tune-up is a spicy one, so let's see what's in the workshop. Viewer Scott the Saint writes, I need help with my Torgaar deck. The main strategy is to create tokens and sack them. However, I feel the deck can perform a lot better. I don't know if it's not enough token production or what. Torgaar! What a metal name and a metal commander. This is a commander that can cheat his casting cost and commander tax by sacrificing creatures. As such, you want a bunch of fodder to sacrifice. The big benefit is that when Torgaar comes into play, he immediately halves the life total of a player. That can be a massive swing in the game's momentum. So the strategy seems pretty clear right now. Make creatures, sack creatures, a classic mono-black aristocrat style approach. And you do have some classic pieces in here, like Bloodsoaked Champion, Bloodghast, and Mikaeus the Unhallowed. All great ways to get non-token creatures to sacrifice over and over and over and over. You also have some of the best token generators, like Bitter Blossom, Grave Titan, and Endrixar, Master Breeder. Not only that, but you've got Cable Coffers and Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth in the deck already. With that combo, you may not even need to sacrifice creatures to cast Torgaar. That all seems pretty great, really standard for this deck's archetype. But I think we can take this a step further. Let's really lean into Torgaar's ability. Let's see how many times we can have him come into play, be it from the command zone, your hand, or your graveyard. Having the life total of opponents over and over again can be a really big advantage. Note, abilities that have life totals can't end the game, so we need to keep that in mind. We can use repeated reanimation effects to get our opponents low enough to finish them off. Animate Dead, Necromancy, and Dance of the Dead are all effective ways to get creatures from our yard directly into play. Phyrexian Reclamation, already in your deck, is an easy way to get creatures back to your hand. Oversold Cemetery, Reanimate, and even Whip of Erebos are great options for bringing creatures back from the yard as well. We can also include more ways to have a life total in the form of Fraying Omnipotence and Quietus Spike. Dire Fleet Ravager also helps by reducing each player's life by 1/3. Conjurer's Closet is a great way to get more value from Torgaar. Getting that enters the battlefield trigger at the end of each of your turns, too. Strionic Resonator helps double up in triggers, too. You could potentially have all three opponents lose half their life in a single turn for as little as 4 mana. And that brings us to finishing out the game. Once life totals get low enough, how do you win? Well, you have Grey Merchant of Asphodel already in the deck. How about Kokusho, the Evening Star, too? But the real bread and butter will be the newly reprinted enchantment Wound Reflection. Wound Reflection plus Torgaar is an opponent just losing their entire life total. Bam. Gone. 1 turn. That works on players with obscenely high life totals as well. Wound Reflection really becomes your hidden commander in this deck. It becomes that one card that takes you from a good deck that does good damage and puts good threats out to the deck that just one-shots players. Before we get to the tune-up, I also want to recommend a potential pivot for the deck from a commander color identity standpoint. If you want to lean into this theme of having life totals with Wound Reflection out, consider expanding the deck to be led by the partner duo Gorm the Great and Virtus the Veil. It's another source of having life totals in the command zone, and the access to green lets you ramp and recur cards a lot more efficiently. Keep it in mind. So I think I went a little ham on this tune-up. I took the tried and tested Aristocrat strategy and added a new dimension to it. We've got reanimation and big chunks of damage, almost into half life total tribal. We've smoothed some mana, cut some of the one-time effects in favor of effects with more long-term synergy, and given you some synergies that can take opponents out fast and effectively. For upgrades, let's get you some tutors. If we really want Wound Reflection to be the all-star in this deck, I'd recommend a Demonic Tutor and a Vampiric Tutor. This lets you not only grab Wound Reflection, but can net you the other half of the Urborg or Cable Coffers combo, and lets you make that mana that you can use to best effect. And if you're keeping the deck mono black, a Jet Medallion is really recommended. The Medallion cycle is near crucial for any monocolor decks, as they represent a lot of value. But they've been getting really expensive lately, so make sure that this is how you want to keep the deck before investing. I'd like to thank Scott the Saint for submitting this deck. It is definitely an interesting one. I know that the deck didn't end up where it started, but I think that we got it to a point where it's really unique and it addresses a lot of Scott's concerns about the speed of the deck. Let's dome people for higher amounts since we're able to, as opposed to bleeding them out for chip damage. Let us know, Scott, how your deck shaped up, what advice you took, and how you adapted your deck. And everybody else, let us know in the comments below what kind of cards you would include in a deck like this. It's going to be very exciting, and this is one that I actually might build and play on stream sometime, so stay tuned. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to submit a deck for a tune-up, and good luck. Have fun. A shout out today to our patrons: Ben Frayne, Nick Cooper, Charles Olson. We couldn't be the channel we are today without your support. All advice in this video is advice only. Commander is about having fun your way. Don't let anybody tell you how to play EDH.